You said, I lost my identity.
Yeah.
How are those two things connected, or where does that go? Because you started off by being yourself, and that's why people liked you.
Authenticity over algorithm every single day. Can we make that a hashtag? I think we should. You have to play the game, and it makes you a puppet. And when you're that, it takes away your authenticity. You have to do what makes you money, what makes you successful, what makes you attractable to these big businesses that put you on these stages for a reason. And sometimes you remain authentic through that, but sometimes you get lost along the way. And I think I got lost in the noise. And then you ask yourself through the filter, is this serving me or is it not? Is it hindering me or is it allowing me to grow? And if it's allowing you to grow, yes, queen, that's a good program. If it's not, we got to release that limiting belief. In our darkest moments, that is where we find our light.
Have you ever felt trapped by the very thing you once created? Maybe you built a business or a team or a personal brand that looks successful on the outside, but inside it's starting to feel like you're performing a version of yourself that you've outgrown. If that's you, this episode is going to hit home. Today's guest was once known on the internet as Tox Josh. He had the hype, the viral content that amassed over 70,000 followers, and the hit podcast, Tea Time with Tox Josh, that debuted #1 in 7 countries within hours of launch. But behind the scenes, he began to feel like he was playing a character until one day he decided to just turn a new page and rebranded to his true self. If you've ever felt the pressure to stay on brand at the expense of your own truth, this conversation is your permission to evolve, to be seen, and to finally let your real self be the main character.
So, Auric, you're going to have to take us back for the audience. Take us back. I don't know if you want to go here, but we need some context, so we got to go here.
Yeah.
To Tox Josh.
Oh,
We need to go back there. So you built this wildly successful personal brand.
Yeah.
You had over 70,000 followers. That might be, it was probably bigger than that. On paper, you were absolutely crushing it.
Yes.
Right? Everyone saw you everywhere. People recognized you. People were reaching out. Like, you were the go-to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So tell me about what success looked like back when you were Tox Josh.
Okay.
What did that look like?
We'll go back to him. He was cute. He got me to where I am today.
He did.
Yeah, it started off like, it was just little old me, gay guy from East Tennessee, like, and, get into aesthetics and really realized I was like, I'm actually really good at this. And a friend of mine was like, you really should just get on camera and just be yourself. And, just go out there. That'll help you get patients, all this stuff. So this little girl, I think, had 384 followers when she had said that. And I was like, you think? So I did. And little did I know it would blow up. And was considered in a sense the king of social media back whenever social media was not slaved to the algorithm and you had to be a puppet for everything, I authenticity over algorithm every single day. And can we make that a hashtag? I think we should.
Please.
Done.
Yes. That's a soundbite. We're using that.
It's like, whoop, whoop. So for me, I was like, being authentic and showing up as myself, it was getting likes and then it would get patient based. And then before I know, I'm standing in front of thousands of people as a key opinion leader because of that journey on socials. And so to me, especially, being a gay kid from East Tennessee, where you're told that you can't be what you are, for me to be embraced for who I was in such a big way, like Merz Aesthetics, speaking for Zeeman, these big time companies, for me to look up one day and be on this stage, it was a good way for me to look back at that inner child and be like, you can be you, boo. It's okay to be you. But that also ties into, and whether you're gay or not, everybody can relate to this. For me, success was, I am getting opportunities to speak everywhere. I have a full packed out and booked for over a year. I have 20 team members. I have to say yes to all these things. And everything that I had worked for and wished for, I was living. But what I didn't realize is that success was very performative. It was success on paper, but there comes a point in time whenever fast success is like building a house on quicksand. And it was fine because I'm the Energizer Bunny, honey. I can keep going. And on quicksand, if you're like pitter pattering your feet, you're like, nope, everything's fine. I'm afloat. Everything's great. But when you don't have the time to set a solid foundation, when you're tired, when you are exhausted, whenever your worth is tied when you say yes, or what you produce, or how many patients you see, or your bank account number, or new Gucci shoes at a conference, like when you get tired, there's no time for rest. And that's fine for a while until it's not. And then the moment you slow down, you start to sink in that sand. And I realized that success was what the success I yearned for, I prayed for, wanted so hardcore. I woke up one day and was like, I'm the most miserable person I've ever been in my life, and I don't want it anymore. So that success, I realized, was tied to this conditioning that we come in through, that success equals hustle culture, that it means you have to overwork yourself, you lose your identity, and you have to pour all into your business, and work consumes you. You got to do. You got to say yes to everything, because if you're not doing, you're not worth anything. And you got to keep on doing, because now you've made it. You can't look like you've fallen. But when you have that and you're in it, you realize that that's tied to that inner child work of being like, he has to do and go, because if he stops and if he's not the best of everything, they reward that. But if he stopped for a moment, they're going to realize he's gay. And then also, I would have to focus on the fact that I was gay coming from that. So Tox Josh was kind of my inner child running the show. And it was great for a while, but that next level of success that I'm in now requires a concrete foundation. And so it was good, and I celebrate that, but it just helped me wake up to be like, truly asking myself, what is success? And am I running that on my program software, or am I running that on software that's really a virus that was implanted me along the way and tied success to worth, and it's hard and burnout? Maybe I answered the question. Maybe.
It's just a TEDx talk in and of itself.
Hey, girl.
Yes. Yes, and more.
Okay.
I want to dissect something that you said.
Okay.
So you started off the conversation where you said your friend recommended you get on video and be yourself.
Mhm.
And then later you said, I lost my identity.
Yeah.
How are those two things connected, or where does that go? Because you started off by being yourself, and that's why people liked you. Where did you lose it?
Are you ready for the tea? Relax your throats, because you're going to gag on it. The tea's coming in hot, ladies.
I'm almost ready for the tea.
Ooh. I was always authentically myself. And reflecting back on it, like somebody told me recently, they were like, don't lose all of Tox Josh, because there's aspects of him. I'm realizing the passion, the grit, the don't give a fuck, the fire, spill it how it is. And authenticity will bring my new audience. And so that was always there. But like a lot of influencers, and for me, it was like one time showing up at a conference, I remember 1,500 people lining up to take a photo with me. And I was like, oh my God. And I'm like, what? I couldn't go like 10 feet without getting hit. It took me 45 minutes to get off the elevator. And the one, I'm like, and it was overwhelming. I'm like, I'm just the gay kid from East. What is this? And my friends were like, whoa. And they're like, dude, you're not just an injector. You've turned into what's called an Insta celebrity in this industry. And like other creators that get that, what happens along the way is authenticity gets tied up in and shadowed by puppetry. Is that like, I'm doing this, oh, that gets likes and engagement. I'm not doing this, or I'm doing this and that didn't get likes and engagement. So you end up getting caught up in the numbers game and in the engagement game, because when you do well, you get rewarded. And when you do what your platform likes, your platform grows, which means, well, maybe I am being authentic. But 11 years in, you start to realize that you've turned into a puppet, that you're overextending yourself. You're doing like, right now, girls, I would rather go straight and be with a woman than talk about a glabella on social media. Like, and I am gay, like really gay. So for me to be like, Siri, where's a roadmap? I'm going downstairs. Like, I would rather do that than talk about a glabella. Like, you just get to the point that you turn into a puppet of the machine.
Mhm.
You turn into a puppet of the social media because that's the game. You have to do what makes you money, what makes you successful, what makes you attractable to these big businesses that put you on these stages for a reason. And sometimes you remain authentic through that, but sometimes you get lost along the way. And I think I got lost in the noise. And I think, me, I'm going to talk about it. A lot of people I still are fucking lost in the noise and they won't even admit it to themselves. But a spiritual awakening will really push you off that mountain real quick and wake you up to it. So I think that's kind of like what happens is like you start off with good intentions, but then you have to play the game and it makes you a puppet. And when you're that, it takes away your authenticity.
Would you agree that you do still have to play the game?
Oh, ooh, I love this. We're going down a rabbit hole. Get your tinfoil hats. Here's the key. When you realize that it's a game,
Yeah.
you acknowledge that it's a game.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking at it with two views, okay? You've got this. You've got Mario. You're playing the game Mario Kart. All right, you've got two players. You've got Mario, the one that's doing the jumping and all that. And then the other player that's got the remote control. When you can wake up to that and know it's a game, but also you're in complete control of it, then you can play the game and have some fun.
Oh,
You
yeah.
can say, fuck you to the algorithm. You can be like, I'm going to take social media back on my terms. I'm going to do it my way and show up and they find that frequency. I'm a frequency whore. Love it. They thought love was the highest frequency of anything. It's actually authenticity. It's 400 times that of love. When you are authentic, the universe has no choice but it makes you a magnet for what's yours. And that's how you play the game while knowing you're playing a game.
Yeah.
And you get to take back the control over that. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense.
Absolutely.
It's very meta, but I love it. We love those moments on Not Nice Clever.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah.
So, Auric, I think everybody listening has had a moment like that where they've realized they've hustled, and they just hit that burnout, they hit that wall.
Mhm.
What does the moment after look like? Like the ugly
Ooh.
morning after, right? You've got the
Girl, honey.
hangover.
It is awful.
Because transitions are
Yes.
messy, right? They're messy, they're gross, it's different,
Mm.
it's new. We don't like change. But I want you to speak to it because I feel like that can even hold people back. Even though knowing they don't want to be a puppet anymore, they're like, but
Mhm.
fuck, now I have to go through that.
Yeah. I'm in that messy middle right now. I'm in kind of the chrysalis. I'm not the caterpillar. The caterpillar was cute and he could sting, he could do all these things.
Yeah, a little plump and you just hang out on a branch and
Yeah, I got you. And there's some exotic caterpillars out there. So I was like TJ over there.
that there
And I
are.
thought I had my butterfly wings at some point, but I'm really still in the chrysalis phase and figuring that out. That's the part nobody talks about. That's the messy part. That's the part that like, it's not engageable. It's not like what everybody wants to like. It's not the fancy. It's not the Gucci shoes and the Christian Louboutin shoes and these like fancy dinners of the industry or anything on that. It's the messy part that everybody wants to hide because social media is a highlight reel. Well, honey, I'm going to highlight everything. And it's very disorienting, especially when a lot of us tie who we are to what we do. And so Tox Josh became who I was. And legally, I changed my name in January to completely like break away from homophobic and racist family, but like also to reclaim myself back. And it was just like, you get so caught up in who it is. And when that kind of, you don't have that anymore. I relate it to that. I'm mourning the death of something and going through the grieving process of that. And when you wake up to that, you're going to have change. Your life is going to completely, because the butterfly cannot form without the caterpillar. Literally, imagine that. Like us as humans, like our bones turning to goo and getting so uncomfortable in this chrysalis. Like, it's nasty. That's not pretty. I don't want to see that shit. Like, nobody wants to see that, honey. Save it for American Horror Story. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
But the caterpillar doesn't become the butterfly on an easy path. But the chrysalis phase is so disorienting because you kind of lose yourself. When your identity is matched to your worth and it's tied to your social media performance, it's very disheartening. I got very anxious. I got very depressed. If I'm being very honest, I didn't even want to be alive, like, because it's disorienting to lose yourself and wake up and be like, your whole thing that you fought for your entire life, like, isn't even you, and now you have to walk away from it because your soul can't keep doing that. Nobody talks about that because it's the sad, it's the tears, it's not fun. But in our darkest moments, that is where we find our light. And I know that in this chrysalis phase, I'm forming my wings. I know whatever I built an empire before, I'm going to build a dynasty now. Like, you have to know that, like, the duality, light and dark, and allowing yourself to be okay with that phase, the messy middle of not knowing anymore and not being afraid of the dark. We're always afraid of the dark, but
Yeah.
like, what happens in the dark? We are born, we're 9 months in a very dark wound. We are, as an embryo, we grow like seeds. You plant them, they're in darkness. That's where things grow and start. But society conditions you to be afraid of the darkness, but you go into that darkness and there's a reason why you're waking up to it, is because this masculine, toxic masculinity bullshit is not working anymore. The divine feminine is raising up and waking people up to, I don't want to perform. I want to be authentic. I'm tired. I'm exhausted. And so that requires them to burn down everything that they know. And I'm here to kind of, like, my new mission, like with the community that I'm building and stuff, is to try to help people in the disorientation phase of being like, hey, your darkness, don't be afraid of it. Go in there and let the darkness crack open the parts of you so your lights can shine through. And, but at the end of the day, nobody wants to talk about it because it's not pretty. It's not glamorized. Yeah.
If we're going to stay in this like growth idea, this growth metaphor we're using right now, right now, what is your water and what is your sunshine? What are the things that are watering you? What's bringing you sunshine right now?
For me, my water is really pouring my own cup and giving myself grace to not know who I am right now, to give myself grace to not know that I don't have to have it figured out, and pouring into me. So finding what my water is again. Like, I do a metaphor in one of my talks is like life gets filled with junk and your cup gets filled with junk. And we fill it with water, and that's your capacity to handle things. And how we usually do is take a spoon and try to get the dirt out. And what does that do? It literally unloads the water in the cup and you end up draining yourself. Well, I want to find my pink water, where, like, I ain't going to focus on the shit because we're always going to have shit. I'm going to take a gallon of this pink water and pour into my cup. And what do you notice? All this dirt starts to come out eventually. So I'm in the process of finding my water. And my water right now, witchcraft has been beautiful, connecting with nature, reading tarot, like bone casting, roller skating again, music is life, and starting to record a frequency album right now. So, like, really, that's kind of been my water. And what was the other one?
Your sunshine.
My sunshine is literally sunshine. Like, in the aesthetics industry, we're terrified. Oh my God, I don't want to age. Sunscreen. When really you should be more afraid of chemical sunscreens, because the start of chemical sunscreens and the rise of skin cancer happened with the chemical sunscreens. That's a talk for another day that the aesthetics thing ain't ready to hear. But sunshine, getting out in sunshine, putting down the damn phone and just stepping outside and just being a human being and not a human doing. That is my sunshine right now. So literally nature, connecting out in the sun. Yeah.
I love that.
Back to where it all began, right? It was so poignant when you just said we begin in the dark, and yet we're conditioned as we get older to be afraid of the dark. Like, children are not afraid of the dark until they hear the story of the boogeyman, right?
Exactly.
So poignant. So true.
There's a reel going on right now, like, as this toddler, they fill a room full of babies, young babies, and they release these massive snakes in there. The parents are in another room freaking out. The babies don't give a flying rat's hiney in what's going on. They're sitting there petting them and all this stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, 0 to 7, we are like a new computer getting uploaded with programming. That's not even ours.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the time, it's viruses, honey. Like, you think your parents are what? I'm like, no, your parents were full of shit just like everybody else's, and they uploading their own software into you.
They did their best, but still, we need to recognize.
You got to recognize and realize, and that does programming control 95% of your life, your subconscious. You're only
Yep.
5% of it. And so like the fear and all this stuff, like a lot of it's not even ours. Like that reel was so powerful. And it's like, you have to start to discern what's yours and what's not. What's been put on me? Like, why am I afraid of the dark? Why am I this way? Why am I that way? There's your freedom. When you can wake up out of that, oh, honey. Yeah.
It's good on the other side.
It's delicious. Oh, yeah. That's some sweet tea, y'all, in the South. That's the good sweet tea.
Can you give the Clever Crew an idea of the timeline in this? Like, when did you decide to make this rebrand? I was going to say give up Toxic Josh. I don't know if that's how you would phrase it.
Shed Toxic Josh.
Shed. There you go. When did you decide to do that? And like, where are we now in the timeline? Because I think sometimes our audience thinks like everything is just so instantaneous. We know it's not.
Not like a movie that's 90 minutes.
Oh, God, no. Like, this is not a Netflix show. This is really reality TV. For me, it was what started this all was whenever there was an incident that happened where I almost died from filler complications. Had a really, really bad reaction. I was like, Tox Josh does not go out by filler. Like this, no. And it was a certain brands that we all know, but they, but I woke up and I had the most severe pain in my entire life. And I go in the bathroom and I'm like, what is going on? And I literally looked like the, hey, you guys from the Goonies. I was unrecognizable and ended up being hospitalized later that day. And it caused my body to start attacking itself and started to go into ARDS, acute respiratory distress syndrome, and started to go septic. And as a past trauma nurse, yeah, I was like, oh, so you know too much. You know what's going on, but you can't do anything about it.
Right.
All while being threatened with lawsuits while laying in there. Yeah, in the hospital to keep my mouth shut. Fuck off.
Trying to recover, bitches. Like, come on.
Not only that, but like they spread false information that I was autoimmune. I was like, I don't have autoimmune. And then 3 of their reps literally spread that I was HIV positive. I'm not HIV positive. I'm telling you, girl, like the tea that I could spill in the nastiness of the aesthetics industry when you have a spotlight on you, when you're trying to do some good with it, it's gross. But I literally woke up and didn't recognize myself. But I also realized after coming down on it and being on steroids for 3 months and blowing up to 210 pounds, I was like, whoo. And having my face dissolved out, the tear troughs, the under eye bags and all that, I was like, realized I had turned into somebody I didn't recognize. Not only did I not recognize my face, but I didn't recognize who I was. And that really started it. And I took a break from it all, come back, and just something wasn't right. And I was already spiritually waking up and going my own journey with that. But I tried to come back to aesthetics, but nothing was the same after that. And it felt very performative. And then my patients would come in, God love them, but some of them would come in and they'd be like, oh my God, my wrinkle, I can't. And I'm just like, bitch, you don't need a needle. You need therapy. Like, my God. The Williamson County white women in Tennessee, God love them. But it's like, as I was waking up to my own shit, I stepped back into such a superficial industry that it becomes superficial that I just couldn't do it anymore. And I tried, and I officially retired from injecting this year and closed down my clinic and got rid of everything and converted it to a healing center. So that was back in 2022 when that happened. So I'm 3 years in and I'm still untethering myself from that. Like my social media platform, the more authentic I get, the more the drop. They only want me for lips and talks and all this stuff. When I post something soul talks, they unfollow. They can't handle it. And I'm like, bye. So I may even step away from that platform, and I am, to start a whole new thing. I'm starting a brand new podcast. We just record. It's called Witch is Wild. We literally just recorded that episode. Yes. Oh, honey, we have to burn down the patriarchy. So good. It's gonna be
Please, Pluto's in Aquarius. Okay, it is. Things are getting torn down. The structures that got us here are not going to survive. They're not surviving the next generation. Thank goodness.
Tower moment, honey. Tower. Yes. So that it's still happening for me. And the thing is you have to give yourself grace in the teardown, because Rome wasn't built in a day. And it ain't going to be destroyed in a day. You think it's like, oh, you'll unpack some stuff and you think you're there, and then you're going to slide further down into the shadow work. And then you're just like, oh, you heal that, and you're just like, oh, damn it, there's another layer. And as I've done that over the years, I realized I had to stop doing aesthetics. The universe made me so uncomfortable. Like, it was like, no, I'm going to dry everything up for you because you have a purpose that is not superficial anymore. And so, long-winded, because hello, I'll read a Harry Potter novel to you in 2 seconds. Like, I'm still undoing that. There's no timeline. And don't give yourself a timeline. Give yourself grace. Spirituality and going on that path to like overcome your shit and all that stuff isn't going to happen overnight. It's an ongoing thing. And eventually you just have to show up every single day as the person you're trying to be. And eventually you'll be that person, and give yourself grace along the way. Yeah.
What are some questions that our Clever Crew or anyone kind of going through this reckoning? What are some questions like they can journal on, they can voice note, they can use ChatGPT to be their digital therapist and mirror for now? What are some good questions that will get some momentum going so that they can go deeper into the dark?
The thing is you have to, number one, recognize it. Like, you have to recognize the pattern, and a lot of people are still asleep. They just are on their programming. But when you do, like, I recommend getting a good shadow journal. I'm going to have one here soon. I'm developing as we speak. But shadow journals are so good because they confront you with the real shit and make you address it. And as you do it, you've got to be authentic and show up. You can't just like sugarcoat it, because you're not going to get any, oh, life is fine. No, it's a shit dumpster on fire back here, Karen. Like, acknowledge it. But some of the biggest question that I asked myself when I woke up to it is literally, and I talk about it again, is what is my programming and what is not? Start there. Be like, what is running my life right now? What is in my mind? And when you sit down and you make a list of like, what are your beliefs about everything? Well, why do you believe? And then ask yourself why. It's like, okay, why do I believe this? And then you ask yourself through the filter, is this serving me or is it not? Is it hindering me or is it allowing me to grow? And if it's allowing you to grow, yes, queen, that's a good program. If it's not, we got to release that limiting belief. But then we have to replace that. Like, if I'm saying money is hard to make, well, why do you feel that way? Well, why do I feel it? Well, my parents always said that. Oh, that's software right there. And being like, how is that affecting your life? Well, shit, I am struggling. Like, I always think that money's hard to make. Okay, is that serving you? Nope, we got to replace it. That's a virus. McAfee that shit right out of you. Okay, but then you have to identify what's something that will serve you. Because if you get rid of a limiting belief, it's like, yes, but if you do not replace it with something good, that limiting belief will literally creep back in. So you got to be like, okay, money's hard to make. Well, what's a belief that will serve me? Okay. Abundance is my birthright. Money flows to me easy. It is easy for me to make money. I'm a magnet for money. Now that's a way to go through life. And you say it to yourself every single day. So it's not enough just to boom. So you can ask yourself questions, start with that. But then it's what do you do afterwards? Because you can ask yourself the question, but unless you're honest and you actually answer it, and then you actually get rid of that belief, and then you actually input it with a new belief, but it's not enough just to say it. Now, what I want you to do is and when you're brushing your teeth twice a day, we typically brush with our dominant hand. No, we gotta reprogram our subconscious. We gotta switch hands. I want you to brush your teeth with your opposite hand while looking in the mirror. You're gonna fuck up your teeth real quick. Like, you're gonna be like over here, like brushing your eyeball. But what that does is activates your subconscious. And no, this would be like toothpaste everywhere. And just be like, and say, I am worthy. Money is easy. Okay? 10 times. And at the end of it, I love you. Then switch back and then brush your teeth really well. But you got to do something to activate the subconscious so that way you can get right in and reprogram yourself with a new belief that's actually going to get you there. So I would say there's not just questions to ask, because I wouldn't be doing anybody a service as just being, ask these questions. That's just the tip of the iceberg. That's the process. And I think that's the easiest process, is to start with, what programs am I running on? What is good and what's a virus? But now you have tools on how to reprogram yourself to actually have a good program after the virus is done. You didn't ask for that, but hopefully that was okay.
Auric, when is your book and TED Talk and like national speak? Like, this is a speaking tour I would love to see you. And like, however and wherever it feels right. But damn, thank you. That was good.
Thank you. I'm trying. My book is going to be coming. It's really cool. I'm excited. So I'm working on it, and I've alchemized that. I stopped writing it because it was going to just be a bitchy burn book, like of the aesthetics industry. And now it's completely alchemized. So, and I'm like my podcast, my YouTube, the community that I'm about to launch here at the end of the year. It's places where you can connect and you can hear this. And it is a game to try to take that on the road and like really do some stuff. And, you know, instead of a fake crowd at an aesthetic conference, like let's really do some good and let's undo some of these limiting beliefs and let's start thriving, you know? So hopefully one day, tour coming soon.
Intimate mastermind-esque tour. Like none of the, oof, love that.
The Metamorphosis tour.
Ooh, yeah.
So good.
Okay. So, Auric, today is not nice advice.
Okay.
I keep seeing people online talk about toxic positivity, but I've always been the person who looks for the good, tries to find the lesson, and stays hopeful. Lately, I'm starting to feel like I have to dim that part of myself just so I'm not labeled delusional or toxic. How can I stay optimistic without getting lumped into the toxic positivity category? Signed, optimistic, but not delusional.
Okay, I love this. And here's the thing that you have to realize. This will be the most freeing advice for you, is other people's opinion is none of your fucking business. Other people's opinion of you most definitely is none of your fucking business. So if somebody wants to think how you go through life and you're trying to better your life and you're being positive and be a light, if they got a problem with it and want to throw a label on it, be like, bitch, a label belongs on a Gucci bag, not on me. So choke on a bag of things that I won't say and go on. So, oh, honey, I can get really not nice. I love it.
I love this. Is called not nice advice.
Okay, so I was just like, tell them to choke on a bag of dicks and go on. Like, so because at the end of the day, the reason why people call it toxic positivity is because we are in a society that is full of toxic masculinity and negativity. So whenever somebody's trying to do good and actually elevate their life and be good, oh my God, you're just being so positive. Calm it down. Like, oh my God, no, everything has to be blah. And that doesn't mean like, you know, like trauma bypassing, you know, like when somebody's actually processing trauma, like suck it up, buttercup, smiley face, like gag. Like, so I would say too, like, don't get so caught up in a label. Just be you. Toxic positivity is whenever you're literally drowning and it's literally that meme of that dog sitting there. It's fine and everything's on fire. That's toxic positivity. And that is when you're actually in a moment that you need to process your emotions correctly. Now's not the time for positivity. You can have, and maybe check your belief, like maybe this toxic positivity, are you actually putting a label on you because you're still trying to be positive for yourself when really you might need to let you feel your feelings a little bit. So maybe it might not be all light and love for yourself. Maybe you need to cry it out, beat the shit out of a pillow and go throw some dishes, you know? So
very Greek of you. I love that.
Yeah, it's like, it's kind of a multifaceted approach. It's like toxic positivity is for society that can't handle good. But also it's got that negative thing that don't bypass what you're really going for. We're told as a society to like, oh, can't do those bad emotions, can't feel that. And I'm like, and which emotions, if you don't process them, honey, are going to get stored in your body and cause disease. So you need to, and toxic positivity can bypass a lot of that stuff. So ask yourself, number one, is this a time where I need to really feel what I am, or am I trying to bypass it with toxic positivity, which is not healthy? But if you really are trying to be a light in the world that shines, and it's just like, oh, that toxic positivity, that's none of your business. You do you. So it's kind of twofold. Yeah.
Done. Signed.
Toss. Watch out, Galinda. I'm coming for you. We got Auric the good and the bad bitch. Yeah. So I don't know. Did I nail that? Was that not nice advice?
Nailed it.
Okay, good. We've never had somebody respond with bag of dicks and they're not nice response. And so that
was a first. So there you go.
Done.
Yeah, but also don't tempt a gay man with a good time. So I'm just saying. When people tell me to do that, I'm like, I'm so bad.
Okay. Tell the people where they can find you and how they can get in on your new community that you're about to launch.
Yes. Okay. So the easiest way is to go to my Instagram handle at the Auric B, TheAuricB, and click on my bio and sign up for my Yas mail. Okay.
Okay.
That is where all the tea is spilt behind the scenes. That's where like I get to be me because Instagram like loves an algorithm blocker on that end. So that's where all
They
the
do.
tea you get to keep up with everything. And it's not trash junk mail. It is I will make you laugh. I will make you cry. Like I share a lot of stuff in that email blast. And it's also it sends everything, the podcast, all that stuff. So Instagram is my main one.
Yep.
And that will have the link tree for everything. And YouTube is at the Auric B as well. But soon you'll be able to get through because Witches Wild podcast will be out. You'll get the handle for that. You'll get to, and also as I transform the Metamorph Society community into House of Alchemy and relaunch it, you'll also get access to be able to know how to sign up. And it's pay what you can. It's literally donation based. So price is not a thing on that end. So email blast is the best way to sign up and get with your boy here. Drop some knowledge, drop some tea. The community's going to be fire. I cannot wait to launch House of Alchemy.
I have no doubt.
Yeah. And the podcast, like I've got the tea with the Auric B right now. So if you want to sit alone with this funny, hilarious gay man as your best friend in your pocket, like the tea with Auric B is already out there. So, and I appreciate y'all for letting me, kind of broadcast that. So
absolutely. We loved having you. Thanks for joining us on Not Nice, Clever.
Remember to follow Not Nice, Clever wherever you listen to audio.
And if you haven't already, drop that 5-star review.
Share your takeaways. Tell us your story. We love to hear it.
Signing off, your not so nice, but oh so clever besties that mean business.
See you soon.